Something just ripped open the ocean floor with an earthquake style crack. This is coming from the University of Texas Institute for Geophysics. And we're going to go into all this information here with you live, citing all the sources. For the first time, scientists witnessed an undersea slow slip earthquake unzip. And we're going to get to all the different information and everything else coming out right now. But first, we're going to show you just a clip of what Japan Meteorological Agency sold in Japan, currently happening as we speak. So multiple floods hitting them big time. And the reason why we're showing that, because the Texas Institute for Geophysics actually goes into where this rupture is at. It goes into warning zones. So you're going to want to see all that. Also, I have footage of what the U.S. military did. And if you want to see that, let me know. Say yes in the chat right now. If not, I'll just break down the information. We'll go into it. But this drill had to do with everything that was going to happen and what they're preparing for. I got the video of that as well from starsandstripes.com. So let me know yes, say no if you don't want to see it. All right, let's go into this. The Institute for Geophysics in Texas, scientists capture slow motion earthquake in action. Scientists for the first time have detected a slow slip earthquake in motion during the act of releasing tectonic pressure on a major fault zone at the bottom of the ocean. The slow earthquake was recorded spreading along tsunami generating portion of the fault off the coast of Japan, behaving like a tectonic shock absorber. Researchers from the University of Texas at Austin described the event as the slow unzipping of the fault between two of the Earth's tectonic plates. Now, this right now is what we're talking about. Japan has used something to wire the ocean with an earthquake sensing nervous system. And Japan's new earthquake detectors network lengthens warning times, and researchers in Wales have harnessed nuclear blast detectors to gauge tsunami risk. But the U.S. lags in monitoring the massive Cascadia megathirst. And this from scientificamerican.com. Going into even further scenarios, a lot of people say yes, they want to see that, what the military did, the U.S. military, because this has everything to do with every zone. Before we do that, specific area, we're going to give you the warning zones here in just a second. The areas they were speaking about is called the Nikkei-Tro megathrust. And this is connected to all the areas around the different regions from United States, Japan, Canada. All those areas are in the zones. Let's go into the zones and then we'll show you a little bit more of everything else. Let's go to the website. The last time Japan's Nikkei fault produced significant earthquakes was 1946. The magnitude 8 earthquake destroyed 36,000 homes and killed over 1,300 people. Although another large earthquake expected in the future, the observations suggest the fault releases at least some of its pent-up energy harmlessly in regular reoccurring slow slip earthquakes. The location is also important because it shows that the part of the fault nearest to the surface releases tectonic pressure independently from the rest of the fault. So these are all the warning zones you're seeing right now. And if you can't see that good, this is released from the official website. We'll just show you the ring of fire, Australia, Asia, North America, South America. This is where all this is expanding at. And then recently you had Japan's military team up with drone industry for disaster response training. Jwtv, which is basically a Japanese UAS Industrial Development Association. The Japan UAS Industrial Development Association recently announced its collaboration with the Japan Ground Self-Defense Force during their Nikkei rescue training drill. They did this drill with the U.S. military. A lot of people said, hey, show the clip. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to roll that clip for you. But first, we need to go ahead and read a little bit of this right here, what it said. They did this earlier in the year. This from starsandstripes.com, official military website. U.S.-Japan exercise built on response to the massive earthquake on Noto Peninsula. Now I'm going to let you see the video clip so everybody here can see what they're actually specifically looking at and how they actually played this thing out, because I'm going to show you right after that how much cuts are happening and people are exodusing right now. They're exodusing Japan. Here's some reports right here. Massive just water spewing out everywhere. The rainstorms are getting worse. It's not looking good as of right now. Officially, you can see right here inside the airports how it's looking. So it's caused a mass exodus. They said over 1,000 people have already left Japan. And these different navigations and migrations are going to continue to happen as we see more of this transpire. So I'm gonna give you audio now and show you what the U.S. military did from starsandstripes.com when they did this training drill just earlier this year that you need to see right here. Okay, here it is right here, starsandstripes.com. You can see them going along the coastline. U.S. and Japanese troops rehearsed their disaster response techniques a year after flying real-world missions for victims of a deadly earthquake. Two Black Hawk helicopters from U.S. Army Aviation Battalion, Japan, operated alongside Japan Ground Self-Defense Forces. Aircraft were part of a Nakai rescue and U.S.-Japan disaster drill conducted. So this was the one that they're looking at. This is a specific area, Noto Peninsula. Collapsed buildings, shredded highways, killed hundreds of people in towns and villages. This is what the drill did. Nakai rescue coincided with a magnitude 6.7 earthquake that struck Japan. This was when the first original one happened. This is around the fault region of the seismic zones in the Pacific, the ring of fire it sits on. This is why it's a problem for all the regions. Battalion Black Hawk lifted Thursday from Camp Zama, headquarters of U.S. Army. Took the Tiger formation flight over the area with the U.S. and Japanese aircraft to mark the start. And so, yeah, this is basically, they went and looked around the entire zone. They mapped it out. This was the footage from the U.S. Army, starsandstripes.com. As everything amps up right now, this is awareness to the situation, not fear, just being more aware of what's happening. Here's other things that's happening, though, at the same time that really shouldn't have happened. Before we get to that, though, let's show you what the cuts are going to be looking like. Japan eyes 80% cut in 298,000 deaths toll from the potential megaquake in the Kaitro. So a lot of stuff right now is happening, a lot of different strategic movements. U.S. military not speaking much of what they're going to be doing. But let's read from Stars and Stripes, or matter of fact, let's read from University of Texas Geophysics Institute. And it says this. It says the borehole observation used in Japan study were installed by the Integrated Ocean Drilling Program and funded by the U.S. National Science Foundation. Other data was supplied by the Ocean Floor Cable Observatories operated by Japan Agency for Marine Earth Science and Technology. Again, you can see down below that the sources cited. You can see there all the information on screen. Now, here's the important thing. You're new here, subscribe, because all throughout the week, we're continuously reporting on everything, all the updates, all the live situations. Hit the subscribe button if you're new here. And all the new information that's coming out, we're going to be covering all of that stuff and what's going to be happening in these zones and what are going to be the preparations. We're going to go through all of that. Whales, and here's what I told you that is a big problem right now. And it's confirmed that it's happened, and nobody's talking about it. I don't understand why anybody's not talking about it, because now we get an idea why they did these global drills. Fukushima switched back on after 14 years being off, and this is a major problem because if an earthquake hits, now the nuclear reactors have a problem. Now we're not just talking about a ring of fire issue, we're talking about a radioactive issue. And now, in my head, I want to ask you the question, doesn't this seem like a good reason for the IAEA and the WHO to do a nuclear reactor meltdown drill in the last few days? I'm asking y'all the question, doesn't that seem like it would be a good reason to do it? It doesn't, to me, it doesn't seem like we're waiting for something to launch and hit it. We're looking at earthquake scenarios right now, and that seems to be the scenario that could play out and cause major situations. Now, even in the Pacific, there was some strange stuff happening outside of that, where they found some like black looking eggs, which is beyond me. Popular Mechanics came out and they actually showed these black eggs. It was very weird. And they're talking about that the University of Tokyo marine researchers went out there to go and retrieve these eggs. And at first they were like, what kind of eggs are these? I mean, like, are we starting a scary movie or something? That's what I was thinking. But it says the eggs are ominous looking, pitch black in color, were found in the abyss zone. They call it the abyssopelagic, however you say that, but that's the abyss, which is one of the lowest regions of the ocean, basically, where they found these things. And so after that, what was in the egg? That's the question. What was inside the eggs? Kano sent the eggs to invertebrate biologists at Hokkaido University, who discovered that these were actually tiny cocoons hosting flatworms. So they're telling us it's just flatworms in there. And at the same time, the doomsday fish are rising to the surface. And somebody says nuclear eggs. Actually, when I looked at it, when the fish, not fish, but when parasites are in radiation, they actually thrived in there. There was studies and scientific reports coming out how worms thrive in those environments. So don't think they're going to die. But we're going to have a lot more of this coming out. Read more into the Stars and Stripes report. U.S. Army aviators and Japanese troops rehearsing their disaster response techniques a year after they flew real-world missions of victims of deadly earthquake on Japan's western coast. We are not hearing anything else about NOAA right now saying anything. So right now we're going to be looking for those updates. We're going to give you those updates. The big thing you can do right now is share this report out. And I did a report just the other day. U.S. radars are basically under attack in the United States. And I put that report. If you look down in the live chat, we're going to drop that link too, because this is going to be important to what's also the coming scenarios at hand. Check that out and stay tuned. We got a lot more coming on this note, because this is going to be evolving crisis, and we're going to be